Okay, this is my tomato bed. Now it's about 80, a little over 80 square feet. And as you see, it's a raised bed. That is, I have nothing but clay beneath the soil. So what I do is, I built these boxes above the clay, filled them with topsoil, and then I built the concrete and stone walkways around the beds. Now there's nothing at the bottom of these beds except dirt, the old clay, whatever. Now you don't want anything below that. These beds are, like I said, about 2 feet high. Most of the roots in any vegetable and tomatoes as well are going to be in the upper 1 foot of soil. But still, taproots on tomatoes will go as deeply as 8 feet if they need to. So I planted legumes in this bed, and legumes are just a variety of plants that form nitrogen at the root. They take nitrogen, the plant takes nitrogen out of the air, and there's a bacteria in the soil that the two working together collect nitrogen. So these are almost ready to go, and I want to just show you what I do at this point. Now, I have a hedge trimmer, and it's easy to chop them down with a hedge trimmer. And in a small bed, if I don't want to get out the hedge trimmer, I'll just use a pair of clippers. The important thing is to chop them fine. Now, if you don't have either one of those, what you can do, we'll talk about drip irrigation a little later, but for now, I'll just move those drip lines so that I'm not chopping them up, as I sometimes do. So what you can do to really make it easy is just take a shovel and kind of chop them. When they're small like this, that's easy enough to do. Normally I'd let them go, well, most of this bed the rest of the bed I'll let go till the legumes are quite a bit higher than this. But I'm just, as you can see, I'm just chopping them up. I want to open up the more spaces that are available for the bacteria and microorganisms to break them down, the better. Now when you turn your soil, you don't want to cut worms up, so simply turning it over. I don't have a lot of worms in here because it's still, let it get a little too dry, and turned it over fairly recently. But we've got a few. There will be more. And that's the simplicity of it. Now, one thing, we know there's plenty of nitrogen in here, and as the worms and microorganisms break down this green material, they're going to leave a lot of castings, a lot more nitrogen, because worms, when they digest the green matter, their manure, their castings, are going to be 5 times richer in nitrogen than the nitrogen that might be in the soil. I don't know if you can see the little white nodules there. That's just pure plant-ready nitrogen. So you've got nitrogen. You want to add, I use cold processed kelp meal, and I buy it in bulk, and it contains over 70 different trace minerals. The mineral content in your soil is vital to good vegetables or good tomatoes. Then I'll use fish bone meal, and I'm using that mainly for the potassium and phosphorus. You hear a lot about NPK, it's just nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. And the fish bone meal will give us a lot of both of those. You just use the recommended amount on those. I buy them in bulk, so it's relatively cheap. So when you've got all that together, turn it over, Now in a week, you won't find a trace of any of this green material. It'll break down that quickly in the warm spring weather. Okay, this section is fine. I'll wet it down, let it thoroughly saturate. The soil will warm up. As the material is breaking down, the soil will warm. It'll be perfect for planting in 2-3 weeks whenever I'm ready. Thank you.